Mindscreed. We're here.
It started.
Do this, man.
Yo. Hi. It's always awkward when you first start out.
I forgot what you were gonna say.
Yo, it's Billy Birch. It's Birch. Billy Birch.
Birch.
Try to do that James
Nice.
Bond thing. Along with
Your boy TK, aka Tyrone Knows, aka The King, aka Toe Knight,
AKA
Tawonga Kondowe. Nice to
AKA.
meet you. What's up? What's going on?
AKA
AKA Mindscreed. Right. So like the cause of homelessness, is it down to the individual? Is it down to the systems that are in place?
Okay, it feels a bit like a cop-out when I say it's both of them. But it does feel like it is both of them. Because the individual has to understand he isn't like the animals. Animals are very like collective. They like to hang together and chill together. But like when the rat is separate to the group of rats, it becomes more depressed and more vulnerable to cocaine addiction and all these other things. But it's different for a human being, because a human being...
Isn't that individual then?
No, because it's different for a human being, because a human being can go out on his own and come to the realization that he can either become addicted to these substances or become a very strong individual on himself, with himself as well. So we need the system there in order for us to either come to the realization that we can change it or we can't. But obviously there's so many like other things that come into that, such as like mental health and broken families, and it's not
even like the financial system itself. Like,
Yeah.
You know, when the financial crisis hit the US and whatever, a lot of people became homeless. A lot of people lost their jobs.
It does. They do it in such.
It is kind of both, isn't it?
Pardon?
It is kind of both, even though there is a cop-out answer. But
the way it's set up is we are still able to win. They give you just, well, there is an illusion that we are set up to win, but we can still win to an extent, because if they make it to the extent where there is no way of us winning at all, then we just quit, just like the rat would quit in the experiments. The rat would come to the realization that there's no chance of it winning, of it being able to. If you're gonna give it food, and you keep taking, you put the food there and you tease it, and about when it's go to get the food or money, you take that money back, and then you put it there again, like say, here you go. It's like putting the carrot in front of the donkey when you're sitting on it. But if you don't let that donkey take a piece of that bite, it would just quit, and it would become nihilistic, possibly, or it won't.
it becomes helpless.
Yeah,
And be helpless. Yeah, I can see that. But even when you say that, there are systems in place. For example, like benefits in the UK.
Yeah.
That's a system that helps, at least. I mean, it's not, from what I've heard from people, it's not enough to live on benefits.
It can be very difficult, of course. I have done so myself, but it's what your priorities are, because you don't want to generalize this sort of thing, but some people who I associate myself around with who are on benefits, they have problems. They have mental problems, substance problems, and the majority of the money is going back on that because they don't believe that they have the power to change. And how can you believe that you have the power to change when you're brought into a world that's so negative? and that praises like pathologies of like fear and collective ones at that. And we find it's sad, we find relationships in fear and discrimination to shame others, and because in a way we're sort of like programmed to do that, but
programmed to do what? To associate fear with others.
no, we find relations in that fear because
Oh right, yeah. So like
it's a resonation, if that's the
it's
right
probably
word.
why like it's one of the reasons why people find it hard to quit smoking, isn't it? Because you have other people who smoke with you.
Yes, and like you said before about in the last podcast about people want to find that similarity, and they want to like, it's crazy how much the individual loses himself when he's in a group. He doesn't necessarily see how much he's losing himself in the group. And
Yeah.
like for instance the other day I was having a cigarette myself, and this guy, I met him, resonated very well, a really cool guy, and then out of nowhere he was like, oh, can I have one? And then I said, yeah, sure. And then he said like he hasn't had one in like 2 years. And then I thought to myself, wow, so you've met me for, let's say, 2-3 hours, and to the point where, yeah, you know, do you see where I'm trying to come from?
Yeah. To the point where he's sort of like forced back onto.
It would completely go against his own beliefs.
Yeah.
It's very
It
interesting.
is another cognitive dissonance, isn't it?
It is.
Like, how do you think he rationalized that?
Jeez, like, how do you think he rationalised it? I like this person. Me and this person are getting on really well. Me and this person have a lot in common. You know what? I'm gonna have a cigarette as well, because like, imitation is the highest form of flattery. But whether that was conscious or unconscious, I'll never know. I'll never be able to go into another man's mind.
Yeah, that'll be next level.
For all we know, he could have been lying in it, and he's a chain smoker. In it.
Yeah, he finished the cigarette like that.
It could have just been a manipulative way for him to get a fag, but there's no need to lie. Stop lying to yourself. Don't mug yourself, man.
God play yourself. Oh shit.
Okay, so you know, like with people who are homeless, do you think you should give them money?
Yeah. Go on, sorry.
Do you think you should give them money? That's
a good question. I mean, it depends, cause like, how is like there are fake homeless people out there, you know. In case you didn't know.
I know. Trust me, I know.
There's people out there pretending to be homeless, you know. Say they're traveling around and they've lost, or their stuff has been robbed. They're just gonna pretend to be homeless and ask you for money so they can buy tickets to go back to wherever they came from. And then there's actual genuine homeless people who actually could use your help. So, should you give them money? I think, yeah, you should give them money. I don't think there's a specific amount you should give. Like, you know, people they just want to come up to you and ask for change, like, can I have some change or whatever you can give, innit?
That change is within,
So,
bruh.
Huh?
There's nothing. I think you shouldn't.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I think you shouldn't. I think you shouldn't give them money.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I said it.
Why not?
Because
Come on.
I know these people.
Yeah.
I'm not generalizing, but I was homeless myself. I lived after I was homeless. I went to a hostel. I know how these people move. I know what they're addicted to, and I know how they go on. If you want to help a homeless person, you ask them if they want water, food, a blanket, them heat pads to warm up themselves, like socks, pants, It's stuff like that, etc. But you don't give them money because it's going on drugs. I don't want to generalize it, but a majority is going on drugs because they don't have the power within yet to understand how to master their enemy within. So they try to fill that void with something outside of themselves to temporarily emancipate themselves from that mental slavery that they're trapped in.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was watching this video on YouTube. You know how people like to. I mean, we're all amateur psychologists, I would say.
Yeah.
But anyway, there was like this social experiment. These two guys go up to this homeless girl. She was about 21, and they gave her 3 options in it. So they presented in front of her. We have weed, a bag of weed. We have some food, and we have money. They go to her, which one do you want? You can only have one of them. Which one are you going to pick? Which one did you think she picked?
Wait, so she could have picked weed, food, or money. I'm going to say weed.
Yeah.
100% she picked ganja.
And you would be 100% wrong.
No, shut up. Really?
No, she actually did pick the weed, the Mary Jane.
Oh, so
because,
don't pull my leg like that. I told you she was going to pick ganja. Do you know why?
I know, because like being homeless it's messed up, innit? Like you just said, like it's just like anything to numb or get a temporary escape from it all,
What was it again?
That's where like this.
What were the 3 options again?
So weed, money, or food.
Weed, money, or food.
To be fair, the food didn't even look that tasty. And the money was in a thin envelope. I don't care how many 50s you pack in there, I'm still homeless.
I think like I put on Facebook the other day, like, what do you think's Birmingham's biggest problem is at the moment? And people's going on like youth homelessness and drugs. But you see, like with food, when you're homeless, that's no problem, that's sorted. Because there are plenty of services out there that give you food. Like, there's one, because when I was in that situation, there was one once a week right by my hostel where like these Muslim people would give out free food. There was one once a week on the next day where these Sikh people would give out food. And there was this place called Cypher as well. If you're homeless and for some reason you're able to listen to this, and you're in Birmingham, go to Cypher, because Cypher can give you like free counselling, and in the mornings they give you free breakfast. These are 4-course meals. These are big meals, and they also give out like free education as well. And there's another one called Crisis.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So yeah, the services are out there already, but
most people don't know about these services.
I don't think they do. I was going into like Crisis every day of the week. It was good, It took me out of like that like negative circle from all that sort of stuff, And it's as if I was going to college every day. It was just good. Good
actually learning something as well.
Yeah, it's all about learning, isn't it? So I think the problem to like helping to solve it, is to help them find a meaning in life. Because if we don't have a meaning in life, and we don't believe in something, we'll fall for anything and drift towards anything.
So how do you do that practically though? Because it's nice to have like a good mindset, but positive thinking won't warm your feet or put in your belly. You know what I mean?
I think
that's why those services are actually pretty good, because they at least keep them surviving.
I think the positive thinking is the stepping stone towards the positive actions, though. So I do think it's a part of it. It's not about being delusional, though, like you just said, and just being part of the tear or something like that. 'Cause I think it's a big part towards it. So when you fix the mind, then the body follows, and then keep doing it, and within time the actual actions will come into play as well.
Alright, so this is, I think, have you ever, them ladies in Birmingham Bowling, like they would approach you and just be like, yo, can you spare some money for my child? We need to buy milk. And she's there carrying her child with her. Them mans.
Yeah.
So how are you supposed to help them?
So she asked for some money for milk.
Yeah, but obviously that's just temporary, isn't it?
What I'd do is I'd go to the shop. I'd ask her, does she want to come with me? If she says no, then she don't want to come with me. So I will go to the shop and get the milk and then give it to her.
Oh, yeah.
But the majority of the time they still won't have it. They want your money. Because like when I've been in town doing my thing, yeah, I'm giving my ear out to these homeless people, and I'm trying to go into a bit of depth with them so I can try hopefully just cause a mini paradigm shift. And I say, okay, so I've got food for you, I've got this, I've got that, I've got anything you need, but I'm not giving you money, you know what I mean? Because I know the game. It's hard to explain, but going back to that hierarchy again, yeah, real recognizes real. So you know who the victims are, you know who the people, you know who the naive people are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But because they see my happiness, not my happiness, my openness, they mistake it for me being naive. But I tell them up front, I ain't naive. I know the game. And one time, I was with my ex, coming out of McDonald's. Mate, I had so much food that day. It was in the morning. I had pancakes, everything. I was stuffed. You know when you eat food and then you just fall asleep straight after? I was feeling like that.
Yeah, you got the itis, didn't you? You got the itis.
Yeah. I come outside and there's this homeless guy sitting outside on the floor, outside McDonald's. He's got like some very crinkly ass dry skin, and it's looking like sort of, I don't know, like he's got some disease going on there, but didn't judge him, of course.
Make, lotion.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm like roasting.
I know.
Sorry, anyone who's homeless. Don't put it back.
Oh, you got a laugh. So I say.
So.
I'm feeling good about myself, innit? A little voice in my head says, you know what, Billy? Give these pancakes to that man. Yeah, I did good. You'll feel good. And then I thought to myself, yeah, man. I go to give it to him, and he's like, no, I want money, or something like that. He had broken English, but I was shocked to the core. I was probably 17 at the time, and I was like, yo, beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah.
But the majority of them are like that.
Well, yeah, like like from what I've been watching, like you can tell, like most people who become homeless, they immediately lose their naivety. Most of them, anyways. I don't know what it's like to be homeless. I don't know any homeless people, but. Like they start to see, because like obviously not everyone's gonna be nice to you. People are out here living their own lives, and trying to get to work and like this girl I met in Leicester when I was studying at Leicester University. She goes to me, how do you think homeless people look at us? Like how do they view us versus how we view them? Because when we walk, like a typical person walks towards a homeless person, they're gonna like make a huge circle around it. Like they don't want to go anywhere near that, because like that's outside of their. It doesn't make sense in their world. Like we're busy worrying about first world problems and stuff.
Fully.
Yeah, money. I've got a a crack on my phone screen right now, and it's pissing me off. You know, I don't care who is starving to death in wherever around the world. I'm just concerned about this crack in my screen and how much it's gonna cost me to fix it. You know what I mean? So like, how do we even view? How do you view homeless people? I mean, I can already tell, like, like some homeless people are really, messed up in the head and they go to dark places real quick because they are in a dark place, isn't it? Like, they're really in a dark place. Messed up.
We do help, yeah, but like, you know how Peterson goes on about, like, in Maps of Meaning, about Pinocchio and the fox. The fox pretends to be a doctor, and he gives him, like, the comfort blanket. I think because they've got it all there.
Represented how adults are, smarter than kids and all that.
They've got it all there, and then that's that comfort blanket sort of thing. But going back to how they see us, I believe that they think we don't care. Because, like, when I was sitting outside London, Victoria Square, it was a paradigm shift proper. Because, like, the people walking past me and the looks I got, it was like, wow, this is humanity. But obviously, it's not 100% humanity. I seen this quote today, and it's like, don't lose faith in humanity because it's like an ocean. But when there are, like, say 2 or 3 dirty drops that fall into it, the whole ocean doesn't become dirty.
True. Well, like,
so,
so, like, speaking of, solutions.
Yes.
There was this one solution that someone mentioned, like, they would open a building, I think it's more of a housing solution, and also tackling the job side of it. So if they open a cafe with, like, rooms on top of the cafe. So imagine, like, a building with, like, 10 rooms. One room is the cafe, so like the bottom floor. So the homeless people can live on the top rooms, and then they can work for the cafe to make money, and they get fed. That would be a good deal, wouldn't it?
I don't know.
You don't think it's viable? Like, it's doable?
Okay, so they've got a place to live, but...
Yeah, so they've got a place to live, and they've got a job. So they're working for the cafe below.
And obviously there's no drugs allowed on the premises.
Yeah, there are, like, codes of conduct in there. We are still a civilized society,
But how would they go about, like, not say if that gets broken, what they're gonna do? Chuck them out, so they remain homeless again.
Yeah.
Because will they work for food or will they work for money? Because when they work for money, that's when the old habits come in. And because they're already associating with certain people who are on them sort of habits, that's possibly what it would proceed to go on to. So I still think it's down to meaning. We've got to help people find their meaning in life, their purpose. Once you have a purpose and a powerful why, you won't be turning to these things anymore. So how could we help individuals find their own purpose and meaning in life?
That's a question.
I think one way is to be an ear, to really, like, just listen, stop judging them, and listen to them. So
what are they gonna say though? They're like, most of them are on drugs.
Nah, they ain't constantly on drugs like that. Trust me, some of these people are really, really deep people. They got some depth to them. Some of them have such depth to them. They're really smart individuals. They got that street smart sort of thing, which is very entrepreneurial. Very, them people skills.
Yeah. You need to be street smart to survive on the streets as a homeless person, innit?
Yeah, of course.
Wait, can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah, go on.
When you were homeless, yeah, did you ever take a tram's shower?
What's that?
A tram's
What
shower?
is that? What's that?
Huh?
What's that?
It's where you go into like a public changing, a baby changing room, whatever, and then you grab some wet wipes and just wipe yourself,
No, I
your
didn't.
privates, your armpits, and all that. And
No.
bounce. This is what the girls on this documentary I was watching before called "Homeless Girls in Brighton." Yeah, it's messed up. Man.
No, but there were, when I spoke about Cypher before, which is in town, in Birmingham, there were like towels there that weren't being used, and like showers, like a place where you could have a shower with hot water. There were places like that, and I'm pretty sure there are places like that in Brighton as well. There must be. So I don't know why the girls would have.
Not according to this documentary.
Documentary shit. Is that documentary really telling me that Brighton don't have a place like Cypher, where like they give homeless people food, like toothbrush and like a shower? They don't provide that in Brighton. Yeah, right.
How are you questioning a solid resource like a documentary, man?
Oh.
What is it?
Yeah, man.
But yeah, like I just remembered another one. Like I should like homeless people. Like some of them are actually they're of sound mind. Let's say because there was this homeless guy who has like they go through some shit, man. Like, he was pissed on. He was like he had alcohol poured all over him. People insulting him. It's kind of like working in a nightclub, really.
You don't get paid though.
So anyway, like he became homeless because of his divorce. So his wife took everything. Blah 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 blah. And as soon as like what's this? I don't know how he managed to get out of homelessness, but this guy is amazing. Like this one time he heard this girl screaming. He ran up to her. She was screaming because she just saw someone jump off the bridge into the water. And this guy, without a second's thought, jumped straight in.
Yeah, man.
And saved this girl. You know what I mean? Bravery. And he even got a medal for this. He got a medal for the bravery.
Yeah, good man. Good man. Yeah, but I understand that, because when you are homeless, yeah, it kind of changes your awareness and like you're kind of switched on and you're ready to like move anytime, because you're in the playgrounds of be the predator or the prey. You're in that constantly. Yeah. So you're more in tune into acting rather than fear and freezing like the majority might do. On a completely different subject, happy birthday, Bob Marley. I love you so much. Thank you for existing on this planet. Thank you so much. Give thanks.
Bob Marley.
Thank you, Bob. Okay.
Thank you, Bob, for all the tunes.
Trust me. Oh, okay. So coming back, like rewinding a little. Are you telling me that you get pissed on at your job? Is that it? Is that what's going on, Tawonga? You get pissed on and get like drink chuck all over you, like what's happening there?
Shit. I mean, okay, I may have exaggerated.
Yeah.
I don't get pissed on this job.
Oh.
I used to get pissed on my other job though. I was working as a carer, innit?
Oh.
And this guy, this old man, no, let's call him Charles, because you're not supposed to discuss their names outside of,
Yeah.
Patient confidentiality and all that. We'll call this guy Charles. This guy will be funny to whip his dick out and start pissing everywhere.
Bro. What?
Yeah.
You meant to do it?
Old people are crazy, man. Old people are crazy sometimes.
Fuck me, yo. Yeah, I wish I was there to see your face.
Like, Charles, no. Come on, Charles. Right, yeah.
That's funny. What else do you think could help with like meaning? Rather than
Meaning, so you have to meaning. I don't know, like maybe you'd have to go back to what they were doing before they were homeless, like what meaning they had then.
I don't. Yeah. Okay.
Find meaning now, so something. I don't know. Whatever, because I don't know. Everything I'm thinking about is maybe I'm trying to think of something practical too hard. Because right now I can only focus on what's practical. Like if you're homeless, why would you want meaning? You want food, innit?
Because you'd want to change your circumstances. It's not the circumstances that are the man, but it's the circumstances that reveal the man to himself, but he isn't them circumstances. It's only where he is temporarily.
Let me just process that. Right. Okay, so you give them a reason to go on, so you... I don't know, because you think being homeless for a long time, you think nothing's going to change. I'm just going to be homeless and probably die on the streets. And no one's going to care.
That's sad, man.
Yeah. So most of them are depressed. So I would, as a stepping stone, I would start with, I agree as well. Mindset. So sort out their mental health. Because there's no point if someone's got mental health issues, giving them money when they won't know what to do with it. You know what I mean? Not saying that people who have mental issues don't know what to do with money.
It's the equivalent, of putting petrol.
You don't have, like, I don't know, the foresight to plan things like that.
Ahead, right.
Then you're just going to end up being homeless again.
It's the equivalent to putting petrol inside a vehicle when the engine ain't working.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
And the car doesn't even know where the destination is. Doesn't know where it's going.
There's no sat nav. There's no.
But the car is on ice, and it's constantly moving. Ice? It's sliding backwards because you can't remain still in a universe which is constantly in motion.
Sure, that applies to everyone, not just homeless people.
Yeah, of course, it applies to everyone, absolutely everyone. When you're here, you're in them laws. These aren't like opinions. These are facts. These are laws of the universe, sort of shit.
Universal laws. I tried searching up on the internet, like what are the universal laws, like. Because there are like fundamental laws out there. Like, what's this? Like karma. Karma is a law.
Is it?
Do you agree? So what goes around comes around.
I don't believe so necessarily. I believe. I think it's a belief that we'd like to believe in, but I don't believe that it is true.
You don't believe in karma?
To an extent, of course, I do. But in some cases, sometimes bad people just doesn't... Sometimes good things happen to bad people, and bad things happen to good. So...
Well, yeah. Also gotta say, I don't know, I think that people have different, even for karma, they have different definitions of it. Like karma, the way I understand it, is if you do something bad is bound to happen to you. So it's like it's a consequence of your actions, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Is it the as above, so below? Does it come under that?
I don't think so.
You reap what you sow. Does it come under that?
Yeah. It does. I know you really what you saw.
What if I don't know how to
That's to
sow?
do with your actions, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Actions, intentions.
Intentions. How important is intention as well?
Jesus.
Unless this is just me jumping from subject to subject.
Very important, man. So important. The law of intention is a big fundamental part of life, I believe. Definitely. It's a way of staying true to yourself, knowing your morals, your intentions behind everything you do and say, and not lying to yourself.
That's the crazy thing though with intentions. You just said something about being moral to yourself or something. And there's this okay, it's called so there's a case of a woman here. This is like a morality type thing. So it's concerned with like the justice system, innit? Whether someone's liable for a crime they committed if they were not in the right state of mind. So let's say a woman intends, or her intentions are to save her child, right? There's nothing wrong with trying to save your child, but if you think saving a child means, throwing the child outside of the window, intentional or not, that's not morally right, is it?
Well, it depends, because if there's a house fire going on and they've got like one of them big cushion things with like firefighters at the bottom of the building, I'm chucking my kid out that window. I'm chucking him, I'm lopping him like, yup.
Like throwing a baseball, yeah.
That's going off subject though. In a way, yeah. So context does matter, I guess. But let's say she wasn't in the right state of mind. So if she was like, hallucinating a fire going on in the house and she threw the child outside, is she still responsible? Should she go to jail for killing her child? That's a difficult one. That's a good question. How would we be able to truly know, like, with this is that the right word? Dysfunction. The dysfunctions of her mind. How would we know?
So we would have to assess her based on what we find dysfunctional. So would that be another definition of morality then? Like, morality depends on what's agreed on as moral.
Yeah.
Not just what is. Then again, if something we agree on is moral, then whatever's outside of that is not moral. So who's to say what's outside of that isn't moral?
The individualist.
Individualist.
That but it's all illusion. It's collective illusion. It's like moral within itself, because if you want to go beyond good and evil, then it's all like illusion. But we collectively create the parliament of judges within that within that self-deception.
So you're saying that morality is a social constructed illusion.
Everything is
Morality doesn't exist. That's what you're saying, right?
Everything is a desire and illusion. But I think that's sort of going away from the question.
Yeah, because like you can't,
We can't
like,
live.
This woman, you're this woman's lawyer, and you're sitting at the
Yeah, how's that gonna go down?
Everything is an illusion.
Innit?
Judge,
You can't do that.
My client.
Therefore, she is not guilty. This courtroom is an illusion. That's funny.
Yeah. I get that though. I get that. Like it's the judgments we place on things, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's to do with the judgments and the values we place on things. So we place value on human life, and so we'll be like, okay, killing is wrong because we value life, and obviously we judge it to the right to not kill.
It's a good question, you know.
And it's like,
It's a really good question.
yeah, like even if this links back to like the trolley problem.
Mm.
So that forces you to make a decision that's whatever decision you make, it's not a moral decision. It's just what was less or more wrong, whatever that means.
Schopenhauer said, compassion is the basics of morality. So what we'd have to do is work within the realms of understanding rather than judgment, and really go back to the childhood of the mother as her individual, to really get an understanding of what would bring a person to do such a thing.
So trying to figure out the root cause of it.
Yes, to understand it rather than to lock it away forever. Because that's just going to make it worse, I believe. Because you treat them like animals, they're going to act like animals.
Well, yeah, that's the issue they had to... what was it? Sorry, guys, I don't remember the time period exactly. Let's just say back in the day, they had to decide what to do with these people. So they did exactly what you just said. They put them into cages so they couldn't understand them. They couldn't understand someone who was hearing voices in their heads and what to do with that, So they're like, let's just sedate them and put them in asylums.
And where's the morality in that?
For the good of the public, man. To put these crazy people away so they don't harm the public.
That is crazy in itself, though. Then the world's blind because you're both like playing in realms of madness to try solve madness with madness.
Jeez.
I think it was back in the 50s, Don't what's that word? Don't take my word for this, but I'm pretty sure it was back in the 50s or something like that, that they actually had cages you could fit outside your window on tall buildings for the toddler, for like a little kid to lie in, to sit in, hanging out the window in a cage. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna have to get a link or a photo of this or something and put it up on the screen.
No, that is madness.
What is humanity? The least humane of all is humanity.
Shit. I mean, look how far we've come.
Bro, we're so far back still. I can't...
Don't lose faith in humanity.
Yeah,
they used to put...
Don't.
Yeah.
Right then. But thanks for listening, guys. We're gonna have a time.
On that happy note.
Yeah.
We'll understand if you stop listening halfway through that.
Yeah.
That was a bit depressing.
Nah.
Yeah.
That's
Thanks
what.
for listening, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Peace out.